Today we're going to look at how to graph a linear inequality. So you have already learned how to graph an inequality on a number line. So like, for example, if you have x is less than 3, so you would have the number 3 on your number line. There's no equal sign, so you would have an open circle and you would shade this way because it's less than 3. But now we have two variables. We have an x and we have a y. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to graph this as if you would any normal line. So our y-intercept is at 4. So you go up to 4, you put a point. Our slope is -3, which is really -3/1. So you go down 3 and write 1. So now when you go to connect these 2 points, so if you go back actually up to this example, you know how we have either an open circle or a closed circle. So if it's less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, you have a filled in circle. If it's less than or greater than, you have an open circle. So it's similar here. So instead of having an open circle, closed circle, you are either going to have a solid line or you're going to have a dashed line. So if you have um, less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, you are going to have a solid line. You have a less than or greater than, you're going to have a dashed line. So the way I remember this, it's really stupid, but it works. So if you have to use extra pencil to draw this line underneath, you have to use your extra pencil to fill in this whole line. So here you're not using extra pencil to fill in your line, so you don't have to use extra pencil to fill in this line solid. So this is equal to, so if it's equal to, you have a solid line. Okay, so now we have to worry about our shading. So if you were doing a single variable, it's just not a number line, so you just shade one way or the other. Here, you're either going to shade this side of the line or you're going to shade this side of the line. So the way we decide that is we pick a point to test. So I could pick any point I want. I could pick 3, 2, I could pick 2, 1, I could pick -2, -4. But the easiest point to pick is going to be 0, 0. So 0, 0 is right here. So if I take this point, 0, 0, 0 is your x value, 0 is your y value, and I plug that in for x and y up here. If it is a true statement, that means that this point is a solution to this inequality, and I would shade on this side. If it's false, that means 0, 0 is not a solution, which means everything on this side has to be a solution. So I'm going to take 0, put it in for y, is greater than or equal to -3 times 0 plus 4. If you simplify that, you get 0 is greater than or equal to 4. Is 0 greater than or equal to 4? No. So that means that 0, 0 is not a solution, which means everything up here is. And that's how you graph it. Okay, let's try another one. We'll come down here. So y-intercept is -5. We know our slope is -1/1. So I'm going to go down 1, right 1. Okay, this time there's no equal sign. So that means I'm going to have a dashed line. So my dashed line is going to look like this. So my dashed line, and then I need to pick a point. So I'm going to pick 0, 0. So if I take 0 and I plug it in for x and y, so we have 0 is greater than -0 minus 5. So 0 greater than 5, or -5. Is 0 greater than -5? Yes. So that means this is a solution, which means everything else on this side of the line is also a solution. And that would be that graph. Let's do, let's see, I'm going to make one up. Okay, so let's do this one, but instead of having this -5 here, I'm going to pretend that's not there. Okay, so when you graph this line, your y-intercept is 0, and our slope is 2/1, so I'm going to go up 2 write 1. There's no equal sign, so that means I have a dashed line. That is not a straight line at all. But the issue with this one is, can I pick the point 0, 0 to test? Well, if I put 0 in here, is 0 greater than 0? No, but which side would you shade on then? So you have to pick a different point. You have to pick a point that's not on your line. So you can pick anything you want. I'm just going to pick 1, 0. So 1 comma 0. So my x is going to be 1 and my y is going to be 0. So I'm going to have 0 greater than 2 times 1. Is 0 greater than 2? That is no. So this point is not a solution. So nothing else on this side is either, which means everything over here is. Okay, and then let's just do one in not slope-intercept form. So let's go ahead and do this one. So to graph, when it's not in y equals form, I'm going to find my x and y intercepts. So to find my x-intercept, I'm going to put 0 in for y. So you end up with 3x minus 2 times 0 is less than 10. So you have 3x. And then you divide both sides by 3. So my x-intercept is going to be at 3 1/3 or 3.33 repeating. So that's about here. My y-intercept, I put a 0 in for x. So you have 3 times 0 minus 2y. So we have, so actually, when you're finding your x-intercepts, you really don't even have to pay attention to this less than sign. You can actually, if you want, just pretend it's an equal sign for now, because you're not actually doing any shading with this sign right now. So divide by -2. And the reason I say that is if you're dividing by a negative, your sign flips. But when I'm just finding my y-intercept, the flipping of the sign doesn't matter. So my y-intercept is going to be at -5. There's no equal sign, so that means I have a dashed line. Okay, and then I pick a point 0, 0. So if I put a 0 in here, you have 3 times 0 minus 2 times 0 is less than 10. So is 0 less than 10? Yes, it is. So this is a solution. So everything else on this side of the line is also a solution.